Hello. Okay, so we're going to talk about action.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to talk about action. So what happens is we give a lot of like tips on how do you visualize your life? How do you use your mind powers, right? They're really like superpowers. How do you use this? And everybody has it. Everybody possesses this, right? So how do you use these superpowers to bring in what you want? And all of Living Fit Club surrounds this, right? How do you design the life that you want? And we use all different methods, including, we use food. We have the Design Your Life journal, of course, the visualizations. We use exercise. We use like all these different ways for people to learn how to maximize like pulling things into their experience, right?
Right.
They set goals, they have vision, whatever. But what's the number one thing that people say? Then, like, but how do you do it?
Then what?
Right. Then what? Like, okay, but how do you do it?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Yeah.
So, so I was reading something, and you and I started talking about, well, first of all, tell me what your struggle has been with this, like, around this. Like, you have big goals.
Yeah.
And what has been your, like, thing around it?
I guess my thing around it was always, like, the taking action part. And I think I was always like, okay, but then what? And I struggled with that for a while. And recently, we haven't, because a lot of things have come into our experience that's supposed to be fueling with my vision, overall vision with what I'm doing. But for the longest time, I was like, okay, but what does that taking action look like? What does it look like? How am I supposed to do it? Like, I'm just not sure on what that looks like. And I always thought it meant, like, giving up on something. Or, like, letting,
a lot of people think that.
letting go of something. And, like,
or, like, jumping into something else.
Yeah,
right?
and, like, making room for, like, but no, the universe is going to, like, save me. The universe is going to provide me for what I need if I just let go of something that might be not what I'm serving. And I was guilty of that for the longest time, done that for a lot of different things. But I think I needed to go through that to hear what you're now about to tell us, and like, oh, that makes sense.
So I was having this conversation with somebody a couple of days ago, and again, the universe is just perfect, in how it delivers, right? So I was having a conversation a couple of days ago with somebody who was telling me how much they hate their job. They literally hate their job. They know there's something more out there for them. They have no idea what it is that's out there, for them, but they just absolutely are totally miserable and hating their job. And my advice to them, which would be the same thing to you guys, right? My advice to them was, how about you find a way to love your job? Like, and somebody said, I can't no, but listen I was like, hear me out. Mm-hmm. You're there all day long doing something you don't particularly care for. How about turn it around? How about be the best person at that job? Take pride in being the best person at that job, right? And while you're doing that, visualize what you prefer.
Yeah.
What do you prefer to be doing? And start to visualize what you prefer to be doing, but do it while you're doing your other thing really well. So that was the conversation I had 2 days ago, right? This morning, I get up and I'm doing my study, I'm doing my reading or whatever, and I'm going to read this to you guys. And then she and I had like a great conversation around it. We had a really great conversation. I'm going to read something for you. This comes from The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles. If you don't have that, I would absolutely suggest you getting it. This is like my umpteenth time reading it, right? But every time you read something, you hear it differently or it comes to okay. So I loved this. If you are an employee or wage earner and feel that you must change places in order to get what you want, do not project your thought into space and rely upon it to get you another job. It will probably fail to do so. So I'm going to stop there before we move on. Okay, we're going to stop just in that piece of it right there. So it'll probably fail. But how many people do that? Just like what you were saying, and just how people misunderstand by casting out your vision, right? So they have this thought, and they put it out there, and then they just wait. Yeah. And I wait. But they'll say, no, I would like to do something, but their thought is about what they're, what action can they take towards that particular thing, right? That's not it. Ready? Hold the vision of yourself in the job you want while you that's the key, right? Act with faith and purpose on the job you have, and you will certainly get the job you want. Now, why would this be the case? I want you to think of it in terms of like energy. Why would this be the case? Because, the universe is responding to your felt sense, to your emotion, to what your gratitude, your sense of, like, it's responding to you always, right? That's what God does. God created this universe to be responsive to you, right? Okay, so you put something out there and now it starts to come to you. But until you're acting in that same thing, which you can act in whatever it is that you were doing, it will not get delivered. In fact, it could be sitting right here, right within reach, but you will not align with it because you're not doing you're not working in purpose and faith. You're not acting in purpose and faith in what you're currently doing. Does that make sense?
1,000%.
Right. So be good where you're at. Like, thrive where you are at.
Yeah.
Be the best at what you are doing. Shift your thoughts. If you have no interest in being the best at what you're doing right now, what makes you think you're going to be the best at something else?
Right.
Now, you may be, I'm speaking like energetically. I want you to understand this because you could be good at several different things, but I take such pride in my work. Like, people have said to me, like, we talk about different jobs, like, that I've had, like when I was younger and I had different jobs. If you asked me about any one of my jobs, I would tell you how much I loved each one of them. Right? I loved each one of them. I really did. I did because was it ideal? No, I left them. It wasn't ideal for me, but I really enjoyed what I was doing while I was doing it. Everything from when I worked at a frozen yogurt place. I loved that job. And I just wanted to be like really good. Like my whole intention, no matter where I was working, was always just be really good at it.
Yeah.
That was it.
Right.
Not because I wanted to make a career of it.
Right.
Just because I'm representing myself in the world in whatever it is that I am doing.
Right.
So it's the same thing. Like you were going to use that energy then to like be awesome at what you're doing and then dream about and visualize all the things that you actually want to come into your experience. It'll flow in with so much more ease as opposed to here where it says it'll probably, if you're just putting it out there and then like, oh,
okay,
I hope this happens because I really can't stand where I'm at right now. What are you drawing in? You're not drawing anything in with that or nothing you actually want, right? You have to get really clear about what you're doing right now. Thrive and where you have gratitude in what you're doing right now while you're dreaming about the other pieces of it.
Well, you even give an example at the accountant that wants to be a lawyer.
Correct.
Which is a great example.
Right. So you have an accountant who wants to be a lawyer, right? Okay, but be a great accountant and then dream about being a great lawyer. But be a great accountant.
It's the action that you take within being a great accountant that's going to allow you to
give you steps to be a lawyer. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes so much sense.
So it doesn't matter what you're doing. I don't care. It doesn't matter what you do. Just be really good and like have pride in your work and be, faithful to it and just be the best you could be. And then opportunity continues to show up because if you're even going to bring it down to get it out of energy and go to human sense, I would much rather work with someone who has the right attitude than somebody who has immediately the right skill set. Because to me, attitude is a bigger skill set than knowing how to physically do some things.
Yeah, you can learn that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So putting out the right attitude, that's where the action comes in. So it's not that you're not like literally acting. You are literally acting, but be great at what you do right now while you dream about, envision about the thing that you want to do. That's when you're going to really draw it into your experience.
Makes so much sense. When she read that, I was like,
Right? Be good at your job.
Where were you like 2 years ago? Where was this like 2 years ago?
Well, I'll tell you.
Because a lot that's out there nowadays, it's like, make space for what you want to allow to come into your experience or just, trust in the universe and allow it to happen. I guess that goes along with like, more like the secret type of stuff and not opposed to like the actual universal laws, like what it is you're studying in this book. And that's the missing piece. And I know a lot of people, including myself, who has done this, where it's just like, I'm just going to make space and just wait because the universe is coming. The universe is providing. I'm just going to wait for it to happen instead of taking action, allowing that momentum to go.
Act.
Yes,
that's why we say vision, act. LivingFit.Club, right? Vision, action.
Yeah.
We did this all through the Millennial Mentorship. Vision, action, vision, action, vision, action. And sometimes it'll appear as though those actions are not directly related to what it is that you were doing, but that's not for you to decide whether it's related.
Right.
It is not. And that's another fault that people have. It's like you try to make it, well, I have to do this specific thing to this because that's what's going to lead to that. No, and then you're moving from a human standpoint. And don't get me wrong. You can forget everything that we're saying right now. You can do a certain amount of physical, mental work and reach a certain level of success doing that. Mm-hmm. That is for sure. Right. But we're talking about how to take advantage of the laws to draw things into your experience with ease and create something epic and extraordinary, right? Mm-hmm. Because in Living Fit Club, we're all about epic, extraordinary life. Epic being empower, performance, inspire, create. Right? She's like, show them. Yes, we have Epic, everything. And our Epic event is coming up soon, right? November 3rd. You'll get information about that soon, our full day Epic event. But that's what it is. That's really being, like, understand, like we talked about yesterday. If you didn't see yesterday's video, talking about that kind of 4-step process where you get to expectation, right? And then after expectation, then you have to go into action. Yeah. And this is where the action comes in, but the action can be in exactly what you are already doing. Right? Have that be the action while you're visualizing and drawing in from that which you actually desire. Because it'll come to, it does. You don't stay in the same spot. This is how you use it as a vehicle. Like I always say, like, to people, even when it comes to Young Living, I say you could use that as a vehicle to whatever else that you want to do. Now, so for some people, that's their endpoint. That's their whole goal. They want to be Royal Crown Diamond and live a great life. And that's an awesome goal. You could do that. And some people say, okay, I want to get to diamond levels and I want to use that as a stepping stone for all these other endeavors that I want to have. And that's noble in itself. Great. There's all these ways that you could use it. The point is that it's how you draw it in. Act on where you're at now. Draw it in, and then you could go to the next place.
Makes so much sense.
Right?
Read it one more time.
Okay, so we'll finish this. We'll finish with this one.
Yeah.
If you are an employee or a wage earner and feel that you must change places in order to get what you want, do not project your thought into space and rely upon it to get you another job. It will probably fail to do so. Love that.
So good.
Hold the vision of yourself in the job you want while you act with faith and purpose on the job you have, and you will certainly get the job you want.
Makes so much sense.
We should put it...
Seriously.
That sums it all up, right?
It really
that sums
does.
It all up,
it
right?
really does.
Right there.
It really does. Bottom line, just do everything with full faith and passion.
Because it's who you are. That's what the universe is responding to, who you are. If you are a complainer, you will draw in more things to complain about.
Yeah.
If you are upset by something, you will draw in more things to be upset about. You see what I'm saying? But if you
100%.
act in whatever you're acting with purpose and faith, you will draw in more things that give you purpose and faith.
Amen.
Very good. All right.
Move
on with that, guys. This will go up on YouTube. You can obviously share from here. Please tag people you think would benefit from this message. And the video, of course, will go up on YouTube also, so you'll have it forever and be able to share it with everyone. And that's it. If you want to join Living Fit Club, it's LivingFit.Club. Take care, guys.
And this book was The Science of Getting Rich.
Science of Getting Rich by Wallace Wattles.
Great book.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Take care.